Welcome back, everybody. Episode 2, part 2 is now resuming here. And we still have Hugo, we still have Matt, and we're going to just be talking about our next topic here, which is going to be breakout candidates for everybody's team. Players that we like, maybe that weren't so hot last year, but we're excited about in 2022.
Let's do it, Marty.
All right. So we'll just get the ball rolling right away here. And the first person that we figured we'd talk about here would be Mr. Dylan. And obviously, Dylan's team is basically almost in rebuild mode here. But
full rebuild.
What do you guys think about Dylan's team for a potential, we'll say potential star in 2022?
Matt, I think you brought this name up early on, and it's Alberto, the tight end, right? What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, Albert Okwekobunam.
No one knows how to pronounce it. Yeah. Tough guy move trying.
No, I like it. He's number one on the depth chart. He's gonna has a way better quarterback going to him this year, so I like the potential there. I know Russ isn't usually one to target tight ends too often, but
yeah, I think this could be a breath of fresh air for Alberto here, because I think I told you on the last half of the episode here that I dropped him going into the last day of the regular season, and Dylan picked him right up, swooped him up. Big mistake by me, I think. So props to Dylan for having him and seeing the talent in him that yours truly saw. But I think there could be a good connection there in Denver with Russ.
Yeah, I think so. Before for PPR rank, they had him ranked at a 19, but I could definitely see him kind of creeping closer to top 10 tight end for 2022. So it'll be interesting in general just to see how that offense changes with Russ. But obviously he's the number one tight end on that team, so there's definitely potential.
Yeah, the rough part here with Dylan is he doesn't pick till, what is it, 30th? That's tough to rebuild with no picks in this draft.
Yeah, I think obviously Dylan's team probably going to be having a tough time. I guess when it comes to like another potential breakout, obviously I think a lot of people around the league is excited about Hunter Renfrow. I think that's one of the other guys that they have him ranked at a 36th wide receiver, but I can see him at least jumping into like the top 20, top 25 wide receivers. So it's going to be interesting to see how that offense changes with Devonte Adams. But I think Hunter Renfrow could, I would say, he'd probably benefit as the 2 option instead of being the 1. If Adams is drawing all the coverage.
Yeah, it'll be more of a slot, getting like the inside targets.
Yeah, hopefully the passing game opens up more, gives Hunter some more looks. I know obviously last year he still had a great year, but I'd be excited if I had Hunter on my team. So anything else you guys want to talk about on Dylan's team?
I'm good.
All right. Then we'll move on to the creepiest person in the league, Brendan McGrail.
Big time creep.
Firstly, already throwing out the insults. Wow.
Yeah, it's Brennan's team. Looking at his team, Matt, who did you have for his breakout candidate?
I think Bristol's a lot of good players. I was looking at KJ Hamler. Just he steps up as the 3 now, gets an opportunity with Tim Patrick going out. So I think his breakout
nice speedster.
Yeah, he's speedster. So Russell loves a deep ball. So he gets some touchdowns this year. Maybe he doesn't get a lot of catches, but big boom type of player. So maybe he gets him on the right week with like a bye week or something where he has to.
I see a 50-yard bomb in his future.
Yeah, so I like him personally, but I don't know about you guys. I think you guys have some different players, right?
Obviously that whole offense is changing, and without Tim Patrick, right? He's KJ Hamler is going to have the door open for that opportunity now. So he was ranked 96 wide receiver in the league for PPR rank. So that's I mean, there's a lot of room for him to go. So
Yeah, for sure. And I got a lot of slack last year for trading Brendan KJ Hamler and getting a second round pick. So I'm hoping this works out for Brendan because obviously I had him on my team. I traded him away because I thought he was a good player and he was worth it of a second. So I'm on the KJ Hamler train and I hope he has a really good year.
I mean, just from like a Pat's perspective, how do you guys feel about Devonte too? I mean, last year, nothing too crazy, but
I think he has high potential this year.
yeah. I
The
mean, that's a player that I'm kind of excited to see on the Pats, but we'll
only thing I'll say about Devontae Parker too is he's wearing number 1. There was a certain receiver that got traded to the Bears and is already hurt, named Nikhil Harry, that also wore number 1. So I just hope the stink of number 1, as well as like Cam Newton too.
Yeah.
It has number 1 Patriots jersey has not been good lately.
No.
So I hope that this breaks the curse. People don't talk about that enough.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see him play. Hopefully, he puts up enough touchdowns for us Patriot fans.
Yep.
I mean, it can't get any worse than Harry, so. But
yeah, I like the addition. Gives us some speed. So we haven't had a really fast guy in a while. So we got 2 this year. We got Thorin too. So that's offense. Mac Jones might be he might get a lot of passing yards this year, guys. That's bold prediction. Mac Jones, top 10 quarterback.
Wow, that's
They got some good
interesting
weapons. I like a lot.
Bold
Nobody stars, but there's a lot of good weapons.
Yeah.
Brian just got a boner from you saying that.
Natty Daddy.
Brian won for a reason. I like Mac Jones.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on. I mean, there's not. I mean, as far as breakout candidates, nothing else you guys really want to talk about on Brennan's team, right?
Nope, nothing. Move on.
All right. Moving on to Matt. I mean, obviously Matt's got a lot of talent, just across the board. But Hugo, what do you think from like a player that might not have done so well last year, but has potential to do well?
Yeah. Chase Edmonds is getting all the hype in camp right now, Matt. I know you know about it. You're definitely, you put him in your starting lineup on Sleeper right now. I saw that lineup be set. And I think he's really gaining some traction right now. Hopefully he plays out because I think if you wanted to really get more draft picks, he's a player that people would trade you picks for. And just how much you value him is when you have that depth that you have. Because I mean, you're gonna play him, but he's a good option right now to trade too. And I think you should sell.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not here to talk to trade negotiations. No, I like Chase Edmonds. I like he was my breakout too. I don't know if that was yours or you just, but yeah, that was they had 2 up, big name O linemen, so they're gonna get better in the run game this year. Last year they were hurting. They obviously made moves to change that this year. The biggest one probably was Edmonds. So, he's got 2 years, 12 mil. So they paid him some nice money. Dolphins looking to run the ball better. They got a running who was that guy? He's the offensive coordinator from the 49ers, right? So
oh yeah, freaking the biracial coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you guys though. I do like the Edmonds pick. I know Mostert's right behind him, but Mostert has a tough time staying healthy. And then after him, it's Sony Michel. And, I have Sony Michel. I'm not excited to really have him at all. But I know he did somewhat okay when he was starting in LA for those few weeks. But, obviously Edmonds is a guy, and that's all they're talking about in camp. So I agree that if I had to pick a breakout star, I mean, obviously Matt's got a lot of good players, but I think as far as performance last year goes, I think Edmonds is going to make a big leap forward this year.
Yeah, and Matt, you traded for Josh Palmer earlier in the offseason. Just your quick thoughts on why you traded him, because I know you have an eye for talent. I was looking into him too. So what made you like Josh Palmer?
I think he's low risk, high reward. So, he's a wide receiver 3 on that offense at this point.
Yeah, he's fighting for it.
Herbert at quarterback. He's going to get a lot of passing yards, throw the ball a lot. So, I feel like you could probably one of those top receivers goes down, Palmer steps up, he's an instant. Yeah, he could start him probably. I would say.
Yep, I agree with you.
Replaces the targets for Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So, and Keenan Allen gets hurt a lot, so that was.
He's been very healthy the last couple of years.
No, I know. But early in his career,
Early in his career,
he's getting older. He's only getting older, so
yeah, that's true. That's true.
All the time catches up with you. In fantasy, that's.
Vinny traded a first for him.
Well, we'll keep it moving. Unless any other players you guys want to talk about on that team?
I'm good.
All right, let's keep it moving. Mr. Berrigan, the Jedi Knight.
Yeah, that was an awesome cosplay.
The player here, me and Marty were talking about it earlier. Mikko Hardman. I think this might be his year now that everyone's left.
Yeah. I mean, Mikko Hardman, he's a speedster, kind of like Tyreek Hill. Juju obviously is in the rotation now, but who's their second? Is it going to be Hardman at this point here?
I think I saw a lot of
and then MVS. Yeah, MVS too. So, I guess MVS and Mikko Hardman are, deep threat wide receivers. So, Mikko Hardman, he's still young, and that, I mean, as far as
I think they're going to line him up.
He's going to get it done with whoever's on the field. So, what are you saying, Hugo?
I think they'll use him like a Tyreek Hill and line him up in different places.
Yeah, I think that would be the case here too. I think him and MVS will probably be doing a lot of, the deep routes now that Tyreek isn't there. And, obviously Hardman has been the one on the team, longer than the other Juju or MVS. So hopefully he starts off the year, a lot better than what he did last year, because he was kind of quiet last year. But I think he stands to at least make a big jump from wide receiver rank 64.
No. Matt, who do you like?
I had Elijah Moore as my breakout candidate for Alex's team. He got good targets when he was playing last year. I know he was injured for 5 or 6 games, right? So, didn't get his real shot. I think he gets a real shot this year. Hopefully Zach Wilson's injury isn't too serious. He's back in time to, also hopefully, break out this year with him. So I think that, if Zach Wilson breaks out, then Elijah Moore will be a big part of that. So hopefully that works out for you.
Nice.
Yeah, it seems like Zach Wilson, though, also, while we're on the topic of
who knows about this injury, huh?
Yeah, Zach Wilson, I would like for him to be a breakout candidate, but now he's, out for, they're saying 2 to 4 weeks because he's going through what? Meniscus
torn meniscus, the partial tear. It's not a full tear, so they're saying it's like easier heal, but I don't know, anything in the knee it's always sketchy.
When I was talking to Dr. Steve Beaujolais, he wasn't too keen on it being 2 to 4 weeks. He was thinking the recovery time is going to take longer than that. So obviously, he's the franchise guy.
Being young, you got to be on the careful side with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I would like Zach Wilson to be a breakout candidate too. It's just it's hard to believe in the Jets, and I give Steve a lot of credit for it, but you want Breece Hall and Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore to do well. But
Matt, real quick, your thoughts on Alex's quarterback situation? You think Tua deserves to have some starts this year?
I don't know about starts, but I think he'll probably I think Derek Carr has the starting. I mean, Derek Carr's got a lot of toys this year, so he's going to put up a lot of points. But Tua did too. He's got Waddle and Tyreek. It's just is he going to be able to hit on that deep ball like he wasn't able to last year? I mean, hopefully the addition of another deep threat helps him, complete some of those. But I like it. I think he's potentially be a top 15 quarterback at least this year. He could run too, so hopefully the big Tyreek addition helps him a lot. I think it will.
Yeah, when you think about Derek Carr and Tua for Alex too, like both of them definitely have a chance to do. I mean, Derek Carr had a great year last year, but now he's got Devonte Adams too, so more points for Alex. I think Alex definitely traded for Carr at the right time. I mean, he got him from me last year, kind of close to the end of the season, so now he can actually use him and start him confidently with all the moves the Raiders have made in the offseason.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
check out next team over here, Marty. I think it's Coco's team.
Big Coco. We know Matt's gonna pick Mac Jones as the breakout candidate, right, Matt?
well, I think Mac Jones had a good rookie year. I think he already broke. I think he's established himself as a star. I mean, hopefully it takes that big step in the top 10. I think he will. I was looking at MVS though as his breakout for like I think his
Yeah,
first
him and Juju.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where me and Hugo were kind of, up in the air about Juju and MVS. Like we both are liking
I
both of
see
those
them very
players.
similar.
I hope it's Juju. I mean, I truthfully do. I mean, Juju hasn't really had that solid year for what, like 2 or 3 years now. So it'd be nice to kind of see him come back with a new quarterback in Mahomes and
He has
being on a
all
new
the
team.
opportunity to.
Yeah, he's in a great spot to really put himself back to where he used to be on the Steelers. Just being the guy, having a solid quarterback. Obviously, Roethlisberger has been kind of a trouble area for that team for a while, but now with Mahomes, he has nothing really to worry about at quarterback.
Yeah, I like Juju too. I think both of them are gonna reap the benefits of Tyreek leaving, and obviously improving their quarterback drastically. Obviously, MVS left Rodgers, so it's not a bit improvement, I would say, but or maybe it is. Better deep ball thrower at this point in their career. And yeah, that's why we'll see. I think MVS might emerge. So
yeah, I think obviously like he's got Cortland Sutton too and Jerry Jeudy like who also stand to reap the benefits of
new places, new
Russell Wilson all of a sudden coming to that offense. So I would say Cortland Sutton. I mean, obviously he has a problem staying healthy, but if he can stay healthy with Russell too, I think he stands to make a pretty big leap for PPR purposes next year too.
Yep.
We'll see about Jeudy though.
No. Next team's little Chew.
Little Pepperoni Tony over here.
Pepperoni Tony. Vinny's got some exciting players on his team, I think.
Yeah. I mean, me and Hugo were talking about a couple different players as far as breakout candidates go, but I'll let you kind of take the lead on this one, Hugo.
Yeah. I think his receiver room is the best in the league right now. And one of those guys that could really pop off this year, I think, is Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I'm a big fan of his. And I think Jared Goff loves targeting him. And with DeAndre Swift back, he's looking healthy right now. They're holding him out because why would you play him? Him being back involved in the offense is going to open up some more space for St. Brown downfield. And that's my breakout candidate for him.
Yeah, it's actually to your point. Like the cool part about Vinny's team is that we all picked different players for our breakout candidate. So Hugo picked St. Brown. Matt, I'll let you talk about yours, and I'll come in last. But interesting that we all have different players.
Yeah, I mean Vince has I think he has a few different breakout players for sure. One I'm most excited to watch, or who I think is a good potential breakout is Kenneth Gamewell. So Sanders hasn't really produced as well as everyone would like him to in fantasy. I think Kenneth Gamewell is a good opportunity to step above him this year, hopefully, and Eagles like to run the ball. So, but
yeah,
what's the inside Eagles scoop on Gainwell and Sanders? There you go.
It's definitely Sanders is the lead back with Gainwell right behind him. Honestly, Boston Scott's still getting touches. Philly coaches love Boston Scott. It's not good for fantasy when Boston Scott's involved, but it is a 3 running back committee in Philly. It's definitely a committee, which is me and Vinny have had trade talks about him, to be honest. And I just can't ever bite on Miles Sanders because he's never wowed us before in fantasy, right?
No.
Yeah. And that's why I think a lot of people are kind of. I know Vinny's been trying to trade Miles Sanders, and
he's in a contract year too. That's why I'm like, if honestly, as an Eagles fan, if he's not back next year, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
that's how it should be. He hasn't done much.
Yeah. Anyways, my pick, I obviously, I think Vinny's probably pretty excited to have him too this year. It's Trey Lance. I know Vinny's quarterback situation in general is good, but I think Trey Lance, maybe not obviously one of the best. He probably I don't see Vinny starting him on a weekly basis or anything like that, just because he's got Lamar. But I think that Trey Lance definitely stands to move into like the top 15 for quarterbacks, just because of how stacked that offense is.
Yep.
Obviously Debo and Kittle there, two of my boys.
Yeah,
Hopefully
buddy.
they can get it done with Trey. I think just getting away from Garoppolo for that team is going to be good. So
Yeah,
hopefully Trey can step up.
hopefully he's the real deal.
Yeah. Anyone else you guys liking on Vinny's team you want to talk about?
I think those are just the breakouts. We could probably move on to the next one.
Okay. Next we have Mr. Hugo Figueroa.
Yeah, buddy. I got some breakouts here, boys. I'm not gonna lie. There's some players I'm very excited about. So I'll let you guys pick, and then I'll tell you who I'm most excited for.
Yeah, I think Hugo's right. He definitely has some players that have that chance to be a lot better than what they were last year. I think the obvious one here is Devonte Williams. I feel like not really like a unexpected breakout or anything like that, but I just think as time progresses with him on that team, he's just going to be getting more and more work, and I think it's really going to kind of start heading that way this year.
Yeah, I think Devonte broke out last year for me. Devonte Williams was awesome for fantasy last year. He's only gonna get better. That's a big one for sure. I was looking at Ramondre Stevenson. I actually was a fan of him. I drafted him. Had to move him to get some players I wanted, but I think he's gonna be good. Pats are gonna new offense this year, mocking the Shanahan offense. They're gonna run the ball a lot. Ramondre Stevenson looked pretty good last year as the second guy. And 1 year you look good. Second year Bill likes to give people chances, and I think Ramondre Stevenson's gonna get a big chance this year. So David Harris is still there, but
hopefully he can
carries.
Yeah, he'll be splitting carries, and that's always the tough part about the Patriots. They just cycle through running backs very quickly, but
for sure.
he's obviously young and talented, so hopefully he can use that to kind of break out this year.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited about both those players that you mentioned. I think my number one guy that I am is Darnell Mooney, and I'll quickly say that just being a number one receiver, because the Bears have nothing else. I think he's gonna prove to be a really good player this year, and I think he's gonna be a top 20 wide receiver this year. And I'm very excited about him. If he can get the targets down, I think he should have a big year.
Yeah, obviously he's the guy. He's who they need right now. They really step up. So hopefully, to your point, he gets it done and can crack that top 20. I'm just not too. I'm a little bit nervous with Fields being still the starter, but he's obviously the one. So he's
the one. Yep.
But we'll move it on. Moving on to Mr. Stephen Beaujolais, the doctor. But
I think we all came in with the same guy here, right? We're all excited for Dobbins.
Yeah.
He's been hurt. He missed all last year after his rookie year that looked very promising. Just shitty luck tearing your ACL. And I think Dobbins can be a really good player for Steve.
He's got preseason?
He's not going to play preseason.
No. Did he tear it in preseason last year?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, in camp or preseason or something.
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, I think we're all pretty excited to watch J.K. Dobbins actually have a full season under his belt. So obviously he's on a great offense, so that offense is going to be scoring points. So hopefully he can reap the benefits and start getting touchdowns for that offense moving down the field.
Yeah, Harbaugh likes to run it, and J.K. Dobbins can catch the ball too. So fantasy purposes, he should be RB1 if he's healthy. So
yeah,
sorry for him.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll move on to Mr. Jorge. I think, obviously Jorge, he's got great receivers. I was kind of hoping that Rashad Penny would kind of be his breakout candidate and also kind of regretting it at the same time because I'm the one that dropped him and Jorge was quick to pick him up. So, but obviously Chris Carson's he's done. He's retired.
Yeah.
Walker's coming onto that team, but it's probably going to take him a little bit to get comfortable in the formation. So I would say Penny stands to reap the benefits of being that number one guy now. And hearing only positive things about him from Sleeper and any sort of news I'm reading.
Yep. My guy real quick was Alan Lazard for Jorge's team. Now that I think he's the guy. I really do. We keep hearing about this hype for the rookies that is happening right now in training camp. Rogers loves Lazard, and I think that he will be the Packers' number one receiver this year.
Yeah, someone has to be, right? So it's got to be someone he already has a connection with. I think Lazard's that guy for sure.
Exactly.
Hopefully Michael Thomas too, right? I mean, just looking at Jorge's team now, just from last year. I mean, obviously, hopefully he can get some.
He's still got
that's
great
more
receivers.
A comeback player.
Yeah.
That's not a breakout. Michael Thomas should be still.
That's fair.
Star.
But. Yeah, Jameis throws it a lot. That Saints offense is still gonna throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully Thomas plays. I mean, he hasn't played for me the last 2 years, so good luck, Jorge. I mean, I think it's an obvious one. I think everyone was. It's Travis Etienne. This is his breakout guy.
Yeah.
This is someone they targeted last year in the draft for.
Trevor.
Yeah, exactly. And the college connection. It's going to be. I'm not saying he's going to put up chase numbers, but like that was his guy in college. So, and Robinson's down, so you got a chance in front of him here to take over as the RB1, and I think he will.
You think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a lot better next year, or this year, I should say?
I think he will be. I'm a big fan of Doug Marrone, and Doug Marrone will get it out of him.
Yeah.
I like Marrone. He's a good quarter. He's a good coordinator, quote coach. What you were calling?
And then they have the Eagles head coach now, right?
Peterson.
Yeah. So a lot of coaching changes over there. So, well,
should be better than last year. Because last year was a
there's not really much room for them to go down. So,
hopefully, last but not least here,
yours truly,
Marty.
All right, I'll let you guys talk about what you guys like.
Yeah, Matt, you want to start things off?
Yeah, I think I had Marty's breakout. Yeah, I had Marty's breakout candidate as AJ Dillon. Aaron Jones gets another year older. Means less carries for him. So if the AJ Dillon's going to get some of those, he might even take over at bulk of the the touches, and maybe Jones becomes more of a receiving back. And then Dillon can also catch the ball too. So he's the full package. This might be a year. He's still on your taxi squad, right, Marty?
Yeah, I'm going to take him off the taxi squad before the season even starts. But after the draft, I mean, he's going to be startable this year for sure. I agree with everything that you said. This is what I've been waiting for AJ ever since I drafted him. So I'm excited to actually put him into play.
Yeah, it's nice to see the taxi squad pay off for you. That's why I put it in. You want to keep someone that's not going to be worth a roster spot early in their career. I mean, obviously, you can argue last year he was, but now he's worth something in fantasy. So
yeah, for sure. And my other candidate for Marty was Gabriel Davis. Exciting young receiver that's you picked up randomly after I think he might have been dropped by a couple teams before you got to him, Marty. But
maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, really? I don't know. But I think you're lucky to have him on your team, and he should creep towards that top 20 area if he could reach his potential.
Yeah, it seems like that was who my candidate was. I've been getting pretty excited to see him in action here. But you're right. He was dropped by Steve and then dropped by Vince.
Sorry, Steve and Vince.
Yeah. So, but that was back in 2020, so that was a while back. Anyways, he's the 2 now, and that's what the whole Bills offense is saying here now. They're excited for him to be the guy. What's his face? Josh Allen keeps on giving him high praise, so he's moving into the 2 on that team, and that's just an offense that is going to be one of the best in the league. So I'm hoping he reaps the benefit.
Yeah.
They're going to be getting touchdowns.
There we go. That concludes it, boys. That's all the teams that we're excited for. Matt, thank you for coming on, man. Just thoughts of about this podcast and future podcasts coming to the league. Just your thoughts on us.
No, yeah. Thanks for having me on. I think the podcast idea is great. You know, you guys have executed on it already, so well, I like it. I like it a lot. Hopefully, continue to improve it, and there's plenty to talk about right in our league. So there'll be some interesting episodes. That hopefully you guys enjoyed this one first guest. So yeah, I'm excited for the podcast. Good job, guys.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're, like I said, every time we do the podcast, we're having a lot of fun with it. So next week, obviously, Matt, feel free to join whenever, but we know for sure we're going to be having Steve on to talk about just draft predictions there. So stay tuned, everybody, and we'll get that one sent out once we meet next week or this upcoming week. And it's been fun.
Thank you, boys.
Good deal.
All right, adios. Thanks for all for tuning in.